Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Sarah and we are Spurs from the Stands. Welcome to all you new subscribers, to anyone joining for the very first time, and welcome back to those of you who've been sticking around for all the news all about Tottenham Hotspur. Today we are reviewing game week 22 against West Ham at home at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And as you can tell, I'm probably quite overly excited about this game, because if there is a game that we need to win this season, it is exactly this fixture, because we are dropping down that table faster than, I don't even know what, I guess the injury is going down at Spurs. So we have some updates today. We're going to run through a predicted team lineup. We're going to be talking about the injury status and the updates there. And we're going to be talking about some predictions for the game today. So just to kick us off, let's talk about, I guess, just a quick recap of where we're at. So Spurs have not won this 2026 calendar year just yet. Our last win was against Palace on the 28th of December, which is, quite depressing, to be honest. I mean, let's be real, that's not great. So we really need a win in this game, and I think it doesn't matter whether fans are divided about Frank, whether you're divided about the injury status, whether you're divided about the board, whether you're divided about the transfers, it doesn't matter, because when it comes down to it, 90 minutes on that pitch, the players have to prove themselves. And that is the bottom line, right? We all talk about bringing in more transfers and the quality not being good enough. We have Romero throwing his toys out of the pram. And you know what? Tomorrow is going to be your judgment day. You know, put your words where your mouth is and actually show up on that pitch. And there's a fine line between passion and aggression. And what we don't want to be seeing in this game is any more red cards for Romero. And when we know that when he sees a Brazilian in front of him, that guy is like a bull in a china shop, I swear. So hopefully he can rein it in for this game, because earlier in the season we played West Ham. I think it was our fourth game of the season. We were on a little bit of a run, manager bounce, everyone was feeling good, but we won 3-0. We kept a clean sheet, and I'm feeling confident that we can do this again tomorrow. That game, just to remind you, was the game. So we had 2 goals from open play in that reverse fixture. We had, I think it was the first goal, I think was a corner from Xavi, and Sarr headed it in from the back post. We had that corker of a goal where Romero did that wicked pass across the pitch over to Bergvall, who did that amazing header, which is probably one of the best goals that we've had this season. There's maybe been a couple contenders, but that one was a really special goal. And unfortunately, I'm not sure if he's going to be starting this game, but we'll dive more into that. And then the third goal for this game was when we had that scrappy movement inside the box. Bergvall kind of let the ball run away, and then Van der Ven came in and thumped it on the back of the net. So I am really hoping and feeling quite confident. Famous last words, Sarah, but I'm confident we can win this game. This is a must-win game, and this is gonna hopefully give us some momentum going into the next few games. Some things that I want to be seeing in this game. I don't want to be seeing sloppy mistakes. Okay, I don't want to be seeing sloppy mistakes, passing out the back, doing stupid hospital balls that we've been doing, you know, from our back line into that midfield area with men on you who are pressing, and then you just lose the ball and we concede a goal. I don't want to be seeing any shots from that corner of the outside of the box area. I want to be seeing us closing players down. I want to be seeing aggression. I want to be seeing us start this game the way that we finished that game against Aston Villa. Because as much as we didn't win that game, we did come into our own and start showing fight towards the end of that game. And I want to see us show that passion, not aggression. No yellow cards in this game. I want to be seeing that passion in this game. Actually, I just remembered, wasn't it Souček that got sent off as well last game because he did that challenge against Paulinho? I think that, I'm pretty sure that happened in that game as well. So you could say that maybe we got lucky because they were down to 10 men. But either way, I think we still would have won that game anyway. So, yeah, I want to be seeing us progress a little bit more. I do think Gallagher's going to make his debut tomorrow. I want to be seeing us pushing up the pitch. We know we lack creativity up front, but if we do have Romero in the team, you know, based on Frank's tactics of the last game, maybe Romero can break down some of those lines. Hopefully, Gallagher's going to shore us up a little bit in midfield, and I'm not convinced yet about Mawani. So Mawani, I think he comes in. I think he's gonna start this game. I think he's gonna need to prove himself in this game because he needs a Prem goal or he needs an assist. So get up that confidence. Yes, he scored against PSG, but I want to see him scoring in this game. I think that reverse fixture at the beginning of the season, Tell wasn't that solid. I don't think he'd really come into his own. Looking at the guy, I really think Tell has pushed on with his physical strength. He looks like he's just more built. I saw him last game at Aston Villa and yeah, he looked like he'd been building up. So I'm hoping that he's been strengthening. I'm hoping that he's going to really kick on in this game and have some influence. And I think Odebear's probably coming on the right. So I'm hoping that maybe we see a little bit of creativity. Maybe things start clicking. We've seen the glimmers. You know, we know that we scored 4-0 once this season against FC Copenhagen. So you never know where this is going to go. In the reverse fixture as well, we had Jed Spence at the left back. He did have a little bit of trouble containing Bowen, I think, in that game. And so, Jed, I swear, if you are starting this game, and we'll dive into the lineup, but if you are starting this game, yeah, if you do not lock up Bowen in your penitentiary, I'm coming for you, and I'm personally going to lock you up in that penitentiary along with your fellow teammates, okay? Because we need to be winning this game. So, yeah, we want to be seeing... The other thing I would love to see in this game is keeping a clean sheet. That would be one of my remits for this game. We need another clean sheet. Vicario, I hope you're having a good day tomorrow and you turn up on form and you do some worldly saves, although I actually hope that they don't get any shots at all. And I also want to be seeing us not concede any stupid yellow cards for reckless tackles, which has been creeping into our game. You know, we had Xavi out, we've had Romero out on suspension, and we can't keep affording all of these players to be out for stupid moments that they lose their head when we are in a position where our squad is really quite thin. And don't forget, we have Dortmund coming up on Tuesday. So there's quite a quick turnaround with this game. The players have had a week to rest. There's no excuses not to be turning up for this game. You play for the badge, you play. If you're not playing for the manager and you're not playing for the club, play for your own pride. Right? Play for your own pride. You all want to get into your World Cup squads, and I want to see that. I want to see that hunger on the pitch tomorrow. Good pressing, forward movement, and yeah, let's go. Right, rant over. Let's get into the lineup predictions. So, little bit of injury updates. So we had, what did we have? Right, we have Christian Romero back from suspension. Richarlison, we know, is out for 7 weeks with a hamstring injury. We all know that 7 weeks really means 8-9 weeks. Let's be honest. Bergvall is hopefully back for Saturday's clash. Don't think he's going to start, but he's hopefully back. Bissouma is back and available. Who knew we'd be so happy to see him potentially be on the bench? Solanke and Udogie progressing, and the hope is that they will play more minutes this weekend. So I also don't think that Solanke or Udogie is going to start this game, me personally. So I am going with a 4-2-3-1 lineup. I think our shape is going to stay the same for this game as it has done in the previous weeks. My inside sources have told me as what the team is going to be. Whether this is true or not, I don't know. But I actually do agree with potentially what this lineup is. So we have Vicario in goal. We have Pedro Porro right back, Romero, Van de Ven. And the insider information is that Davis is starting. I don't know how true this is. You know how these WhatsApp groups go. But I'm actually more convinced than you would think that Davis is actually going to start this game. So he started the last 2 games. And if this was a fixture where we had a game midweek, I'd say that Davis wouldn't start. However, Spence has been making a lot of mistakes. He's been making too many mistakes. And Davis gives us that bit of, I think he's very, look, he's not the fastest player, but I think what he offers us is that experience on the ball. And I think that allows whoever is playing that left wing side, which as we've seen recently is Tell, I think he actually gives that left wing position more license to push forward, just with his experience and presence being on the pitch. Unfortunately, that would mean that he is in a battle against Bowen, and I'm not sure he has the legs to compete. However, you have Van de Ven as cover. So I wouldn't be surprised if Davis comes in and starts this game. And I also think because we're playing Dortmund on Tuesday, I wonder if that is a game where Spence starts. And I also think that because Udogie's on the bench, by starting Davis, you can have a game changer come on later in the match, like Udogie, who is a bit more creative to see the game out. And likewise, that then gives Spence the rotation, or that then gives Porro the rotation with Spence on the right-hand side to come on later in the game as well. So I can see that being our back 4. I'm not opposed to it. I actually, fair play to Davis. The guy's been given a whole new lease of life. The guy's like a whole new player for our squad. So I'm all right with that. Now, the midfield, I think that Gallagher is going to start this game. We know that Bergvall probably isn't fully match fit. Look, he must be match fit because he's on the bench. But I don't trust our medical team. I don't trust our medical team in the slightest. So I would be quite happy for Bergvall to not start this game, if I'm completely honest. Now, I also think Gallagher is going to be paired. So we know Bentancur's out. So I think Gallagher is going to be paired with Archie Gray in this game, in that pivot role. The thing with Archie Gray, great player, young player. He's 19? At the moment, we have a player on our hands who is a jack of all trades and a master of none. The guy's played right back, centre back, creative midfielder, defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder. The guy's played everywhere. He has seen, and he now has experience on a lot of areas of the pitch. What I want to be seeing from him tomorrow is just shoring that back 4 lineup and maybe having Romero and Van de Ven behind him in this game rather than Danso is going to give him that bit more confidence. And maybe having a player like Gallagher in front of him, because we know that we know that Frank has favoured Gray kind of like in that like sort of ahead of the defensive midfielder. So last game, he dropped him back to that defensive midfielder role. And I think that Frank is actually going to do the same again. And I don't mind it because I think Gray needs a bit of consistency in the same position to get his confidence, to get familiar with the role and to stick with it rather than be, the scapegoat of the person who's covering every single person on the pitch. So I wouldn't mind to see Gray in that deeper role and then with Gallagher in front of him. Obviously, the speculation around Gallagher is that he can't progress the ball. I don't think if he comes in this game and that ends up happening, that's fully down to him. I think that might be a tactical thing as well. But with Xavi, I think is going to be in front of him. And I think that's going to offer us a bit of creativity. Xavi's also coming into it. He's also strengthening. He's had half the season now. He also missed those games due to having that suspension. He was back last game, but I'm hoping that he's also coming into his own a little bit, and this game can really build the confidence of the players. So Xavi comes in to our 10 midfield, and I think the wings are going to be Tell and Odobert, as I said. I'm actually not sure who else we could even put in those wing positions. Potentially, you could put Mawani on the left, but with Richie out, with Solanke not being fully fit, I think Mawani takes that striker shirt. I think he is going to come in as our striker for this game, and he's got to score. He's got to prove himself. Look, we're all looking at Frank and saying your tactics suck, and we're all looking at the board saying you need to get better players. And these players are going, well, it's not really our fault. Tactics aren't great, whatever. Well, show yourselves. Step up in this game, prove yourselves, and play like you mean it. Play like you want the win. So I think that Mawani is going to come in. And I'm rooting it for him tomorrow because, yeah, I heard some crazy information that Paulinho got injured in training. But I think that's just, maybe that's internal Spurs trolls coming for us. Yeah, I'm hoping Paulinho is going to be on the bench because if not, I'm not quite sure who else is going to be on our bench. So yeah, I think Solanke's going to be on the bench for this game. Udogie's going to be on the bench. Bergval's going to be on the bench. Who else have we got in our squad? Dragusin's probably on the bench. Danso's going to be on the bench. Yeah, I reckon Bissouma comes in on a bench, even though he's been out of favour. We're so light in midfield. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we see Bissouma. And Bissouma's match fit. He's been playing. So as much as the guy's an absolute loose cannon and he does what he wants and he turns up when he wants, he's solid. He is solid in that position. He played for us in that Europa Cup final. So look, if Gallagher doesn't play the full game, I am wondering whether Bissouma gets a shout. I am wondering whether Gray doesn't play the full game, whether Bergval comes in as well. We obviously know Sarr is at the AFCON, and obviously Bentancur's injured. So, yeah, lots of movement. And obviously Kulusevski's injured, but we know that anyway. And, yeah, the only other forward, realistically, that we've got who could be on the bench, because Kudus is also injured, is Dane Scarlett. And Dane Scarlett, I applaud you for sticking through the academy, coming through the ranks, but I don't think you have enough ambition for the team. He came on at the end of that Villa game on the right-hand side. That probably wasn't his position, but we are so light up front. And that's not Frank's fault. It's not Frank's fault about the injuries. The people that we should be calling out, and I've said this before, the scapegoat is always the manager, is obviously the people buying these players, right? We need better talent and we need more players in. So, what are we? 16th of Jan, halfway through the transfer window. We need creative players coming into this team. Regardless, I still think we take the 3 points. My match prediction for this game is going to be 3-0. Overly confident, I know. Famous last words. It's the hope that kills us. All of that jazz. But I think this is a game that we need to really, really have a big win. We need to have that big win. You've got Burnley next weekend. And just to point out, because some of you have said in the chat, I can't see how we are going to... Some of you have said in the chat, I can't see how we're going to climb the table because the teams above us obviously going to pick up points. But if there's ever a weekend where we can take this opportunity to kick on, it's this one. Because the fixtures this weekend, you have Sunderland and Palace are playing each other. And Sunderland and Palace are 10th and 13th in the table. So we are only 3 points off Sunderland. So if they I think that's going to be a tight game. And if they draw that game, we would go 1 point behind Sunderland if we win. So that's an opportunity to push up to that 11th place. Who knows? Maybe Palace take it. I think Sunderland have had a great season so far. Whether they start dropping off, I don't know. But Palace also are playing... Palace have Chelsea the weekend after. So I think this is quite a big game for both teams. Let me just have a look. Sunderland Sunderland are playing West Ham the game after this, and then they've got Burnley. Okay, so yeah, potentially Sunderland could pick up another 6 points after that next game, because I reckon Sunderland beat West Ham and Burnley, to be honest. But that could potentially be a way that we close that gap. I think Brighton are playing Bournemouth on Monday. I think Brighton are going to take those 3 points. Yeah, they've been undefeated at home by Bournemouth I did look this up yesterday. The last time Bournemouth beat Brighton, when Brighton were playing at home, was the 2019 season. And just for all you guys that hasn't settled in yet, that we're in 2026, 2019 was now 7 years ago. So it's been 7 years since Bournemouth have beat Brighton at home. So looking up the table, I think Brighton are going to take those 3 points, which would then put them circling around that 7th space. And then Everton are playing Villa, and I do think Villa are going to win that game. So there are teams above us that are going to drop points. Good job we weren't live. That was the door. Good on Amazon. They picked their timing. Right, so we had, Everton playing Villa this weekend, so I think they're going to drop points. So there's a lot to play for in this game. Leeds have got Fulham, big derby this weekend. United play City. So United on their manager bounce. City want to close the gap on Arsenal. Big game there. So Liverpool have Burnley, so they're probably going to win. We don't really have to worry about Burnley anyway. But yeah, there is potential for us to push up the table this weekend. Chelsea also have Brentford. See how that goes. The table is very, very tight. I mean, Palace and Sunderland can't lose this weekend. That's impossible. So realistically, the furthest we can push up the table this weekend is probably about 11th. But if we can start getting a run together, start pushing on, then we could push up the table and maybe finish the season around 9th, which would be all right. So 3-0 is my prediction. Goal scorers, I'm going to go. I want Mawani to score in this game. He needs a goal. I would love to see Tell score, but I think this is going to be one of those games where maybe one of our centre-backs scores. So I'm going to say maybe Romero scores in this game, maybe from a corner. And I don't know if Gallagher's going to come in straight away and score. But what I would love to see is a Xavi goal and a Gallagher assist. That would give me some confidence in sort of the creativity that could be developed in this team. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to go with a Mawani, Xavi, Romero 3-goal winner. Crazy prediction, I know. We're still Spurs. We're always Spurs. But we stay positive. What are your score predictions? I'd love to hear. What do you think the lineup's going to be? Do you think my lineup has been accurate? Do you think that Spence comes in? Do you think maybe Udogie comes in? Am I wrong about Gallagher? Do you think he's going to sit a bit deeper? Do you think Gray's going to start? Yeah, share with me your thoughts. I'd love to hear it in the chat, in the comments. Thank you so much for all of you subscribing. Please do like, subscribe, comment, share this video. Tell all your friends about your new favourite channel. But yeah, hopefully over time we're going to get a bit better at this. And hopefully my mic has upheld in this video because I did an update last night. So I will see you all tomorrow in the match day. Well, actually, I might do, it depends how the game goes. I'm going to be honest. Depends how the game goes tomorrow. I will try and do some vlogging bits at the game to give you a match day vlog. And I will also do a react video after the game, a reaction, debriefing the game. Which order those videos are going to come, I don't know. It takes a while to edit those videos. So be patient with me. I appreciate you guys sticking around. Up the Spurs, come on you Spurs, and I'll see you all in the next video.